The Koch family is an American family engaged in business, best known for their political activities and their control of Koch Industries, the second largest privately owned company in the United States, with revenues of $100 billion. We pull out some of the most interesting and revelatory 7 things you need to know about the Koch family. Number 7. Fred Koch, father and founder. At the age of 27, a chemical engineer by the name of Fred Koch developed a new and more efficient process for turning crude oil into gasoline. An MIT graduate, Fred had invented a new method of refining gasoline from viscous and common heavy oil. After a string of lawsuits from Universal Oil Products, Fred brought his innovation to the Soviet Union in 1929. He returned to America shortly after a start a family. A little more than a decade after making his discovery, Koch used his improved process to start an oil refinery business of his own. The company was initially called Wood River Oil and Refining Company, and then later became Rock Island Oil and Refining Company, before finally being named Koch Industries. Since then, the company has expanded its operations beyond oil refining into industries such as agriculture and consumer goods manufacturing. Fast forward to today. Koch Industries generates annual sales of $119 billion and is the second largest privately held company in the U.S. In 1961, the company was worth $21 million. This equates to a 57-year cumulative return of more than 476,000%. To put that into perspective, the Standard & Poor's 500 index increased roughly 4,210% between January 1, 1961 and January 1, 2019. As of June 2019, Koch Industries had 120,000 employees worldwide. All of Fred Koch's 4 sons have become billionaires as a result of the unprecedented growth of the family business. The 2 brothers are the only members of the family's second generation who still play an active role in the management of the company. Number 6. Kochs versus Kochs. Charles, David, and Bill followed their father in earning engineering degrees from the prestigious Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Charles was groomed as Koch's successor, becoming president of the family business after his father died in the 1960s and renaming it Koch Industries in his honor. David and Bill both took roles in the company. David Koch, the younger brother of Charles Koch, joined the company as a technical service manager in 1970, and he quickly rose through the ranks, ultimately becoming the president of Koch's engineering division in 1978. But along the way, they lost the support of their brother Bill, who in 1980, apparently feeling sidelined and concerned over the company's direction, joined forces with Frederick to try to oust Charles. Instead, the company's board sided with Charles and fired Bill. The road did not end there, and in 1983, Charles and David bought out their brother's share of the firm. The dispute was reportedly so bitter that the brothers ignored each other at their mother's funeral in 1990. Blood and money is a very explosive issue, Bill once mused. Number 5. Lesser-known Koch brothers. Other brothers Frederick and William Koch have not been involved with Koch Industries for many decades. The 2 brothers sold their shares to Charles and David and, in exchange, received $700 million. Frederick and William did partake in public disputes and a lawsuit over the years against Charles and David, claiming they were shortchanged during the 1983 buyout of their stakes. The lawsuit has since been settled. Frederick has since moved to Morocco and now collects art, while William serves as a CEO of Oxbow, an energy company he founded after selling his stake in Koch Industries. As of June 2019, Oxbow was the 184th largest privately held company in the United States with $2.5 billion in annual revenue. Number 4. The Koch fortune. The brothers' net worth is estimated around $80 billion, and they've spent roughly $324 million exerting their considerable influence in Washington and in the media. Estimates place the fortune of David Koch is somewhere between $42 billion and $50.5 billion. How does someone make that much money? David's brother, Charles Koch, is the chairman and CEO of the business. As of March 2019, he was ranked as the 11th richest person in the world, with an estimated net worth of $50.5 billion. The brothers' leadership grew Koch Industries into the massive company it is today. The industries under the Koch umbrella are diverse, ranging from companies that deal with energy to spandex. Koch companies manufacture paper, process minerals, create fertilizer, and refine oil. Some of the subsidiaries are also involved in ranching, commodities trading, and investing. Koch Industries employs close to 120,000 people in 50 countries, including about 65,000 people in the U.S. All that wealth has allowed the brothers to become active and influential political donors. Through their Americans for Prosperity Foundation, they organize hundreds of wealthy people to back conservative causes and politicians. Two groups at the heart of the Koch brothers network donated a combined $100 million to political races in 2014. In 2015, the brothers said they intended to spend nearly $750 million on politics. Charles and David have also given to numerous philanthropic causes. Over the course of his life, David donated more than $1.2 billion to art groups, hospitals, and museums. Charles said he has also given more than $1 billion to various causes, with education being one focus. The company says it brings in more than $100 billion in revenue each year and reinvests 90% of earnings back into the company. Number 3. Political interests. Charles and David Koch are sometimes referred to as GOP kingmakers. They have given millions of dollars to the campaigns of Republican candidates over the years. Their organizations provide grants to more than 250 colleges and universities for research and education programs, including the Institute of Humane Studies, which promotes individual liberty and free market economics. The Charles Koch Institute offers professional education programs to help individuals successfully advance economic freedom through their careers. It actively seeks doctoral students to advance academic research in the fields of free societies and human well-being and prosperity. According to a Politico article, the Koch brothers have invested more in politics than virtually any other individuals in America. Number 2. Cancer. All four of the Koch brothers have, at one time or another, been diagnosed with prostate cancer. They have apparently taken the threat seriously, funding a number of cancer research and treatment centers, including the Koch Institute for Integrative Cancer Research at MIT. The state-of-the-art cancer research facility is the hub of cancer research at the university. The Koch Institute draws on faculty from multiple departments, including the MIT School of Engineering. In addition, Charles Koch and his brothers donated more than $150 million to Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center to build an outpatient facility with state-of-the-art technology and techniques. To better understand and combat cancer, the Koch brothers have also given $20 million to Johns Hopkins University and $26.5 million to the MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston, Texas. For the David H. Koch Center for Applied Research and Genitourinary Cancers. Number 1. Koch brothers are sitting on a real estate empire worth hundreds of millions. The four brothers have amassed some of the world's most spectacular private homes, including a large waterfront compound on Massachusetts' Cape Cod, once owned by Bunny Mellon, sprawling Palm Beach estates, a replica of an Old West town in Colorado, and an Austrian castle once owned by Archduke Franz Ferdinand. The estates are a far cry from the roughly 160-acre property on the outskirts of Wichita, Kansas, where the brothers grew up. They spent their summers in bunkhouses while working on cattle ranches owned by their father. Frederick, an 86-year-old art collector and philanthropist, is arguably the least well-known of the four brothers. His real estate holdings are some of the grandest. Frederick owns a roughly 13,000 square foot townhouse on East 80th Street, a French Regency-style mansion that was one of several commissioned by dime store mogul Frank Woolworth for his daughters as wedding gifts. While Frederick's homes are heavy on the history, David's properties lean towards vacation destinations of the jet set. David bought a 7-bedroom home on Meadow Lane, an ultra-exclusive enclave in Southampton, New York, for $7.5 million, records show. These days, properties on Meadow Lane sell in the tens of millions. In Aspen, David bought 2 neighboring homes near the Roaring Fork River in the 1989 and 1991, paying a total of nearly $4 million. The homes are directly opposite, one owned by his brother Charles. When it comes to real estate, Bill's purchases reflect his interest in the Wild West. He paid $2.3 million in 2011 for a 130-year-old photo of gunslinger Billy the Kid. Bill, 79, owns 2 major properties in Colorado, a roughly 90-acre estate known as Elk Mountain Lodge near Aspen, and the roughly 4,500-acre Bear Ranch in Paonia, Colorado, about 90 miles away. Elk Mountain was listed for $80 million in 2016, but has since been taken off the market. On Bear Ranch, Bill created a replica of an Old West town, complete with about 75 buildings, including a hotel, cabins, Victorian-style houses, a theater, and a number of stores. Compared with his brothers, Charles's real estate holdings appear to be relatively modest. He is the only brother to maintain his primary home in Wichita, where he owns a large estate with a tennis court on the same compound where he grew up. The property borders the Wichita Country Club, a short block from a Whole Foods store and a roughly 15-minute drive from the center of the city. He's just a multi-billionaire next door in his East Wichita neighborhood, where strip malls and chain restaurants have overtaken the once wide-open terrain. Mr. Schulman wrote, Charles does own several other homes across the country, including an Aspen estate on the same street as his brother David, a condo in Vail, Colorado, and a vacation house in the Vintage Club, an ultra-exclusive resort near Indian Wells, California. That's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed knowing the great Koch family. Do share with us in the comments if you know more about them. Please subscribe to The Luxury World. Thanks for watching.